2 cats. Ooh, and she's out. Let's see how long that goes.
5 minutes.
5.
5 minutes.
Dougie Fresh, and you're on. Do you know that song?
Nope.
You don't?
I do not.
The Dougie Fresh song? Slick Rick the Ruler?
How many times do I have to say it?
Wow.
I don't pretend like I know cool stuff.
That's got to be.
If I know it, I would say, oh yeah, but I don't. I don't forget, I was very much into metal and rock. I'm just saying that that realm of rap and R&B, that was not in my world at all.
Early stuff, yeah.
Obviously, my parents liked all the stuff that everybody else liked that was mainstream. But I mean, as far as the deep cuts, like in the 80s when people were getting into, the new rap, and I really didn't start getting into it. Like, I hated the Run DMC thing with Aerosmith. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. And everybody just loved it. I just didn't. I did not. I never really had a thing for Michael Jackson. I just didn't see the appeal. I just didn't.
For Michael Jackson?
Nope.
Huh.
When I was a kid when I was in elementary school, there was a guy, his name was Brian, and he was obsessed with Michael Jackson. So he would come, he brought his album to school, showed everybody. I think it was the Off the Wall one. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called?
Yes. Off the Wall is his first one. First solo.
Loved it. I'm like, okay, great. That's cool. I had no, interest.
Yeah. This is the one I was talking about.
Literally no. Oh, yes. Hasn't that been sampled though?
Yeah, that's the show. That's Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, and that's where that 6 minutes Dougie Fresh and you're on.
Wait, is that the guy that has the big? Is that Flavor Flav?
That's Flavor Flav from Public Enemy. That's not the same. Dougie Fresh was one of those. He was probably the preeminent, what you would call beatboxer, where he would do the sounds himself, the beat himself, kind of like the Fat Boys had that. But Dougie Fresh was like the epitome of a beatboxer, and so he would do stuff with Slick Rick, and so. But that's
were they in Electric Boogaloo?
No, they were not breakdancing.
I know they weren't breakdancers, but that was the music.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
That's okay.
Anyway,
that's all right. I mean, we could do metal, apparently, which you were into. By metal, like Metallica metal?
Dio.
Or like death metal?
No.
Dio? I've never once in my life heard you even mention that you listened to Dio.
I did.
You listened to Dio?
Yes.
Okay.
And Metallica when they were new. Yeah. And then I remember...
I guess Metallica was metal at the time.
Here's the thing. But... Back in the day when I was a kid...
Yeah.
This probably wouldn't be considered metal anymore because of how far we've progressed in genre.
That's what I was going to say.
But back in the day, that was heavy metal.
Yeah.
Metallica,
no, it
Dio,
was. You're right.
Guns N' Roses, Skid Row. I mean, Aerosmith was not even considered metal. By the way, welcome to the Ugly Truth. Ugh. I forgot to introduce. We're here. We're just, la 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 talking. Yeah. Daryl and I are sitting in together today because we need to recap our glorious road trip to meet the new grandchild that his daughter had. But anyway, welcome to the Ugly Truth. I'm Jamie. This is producer Deb sitting in for Stephanie this week. You can fast forward if you want to.
Shut up.
I'm just kidding. But you won't want to because I have some really cool...
Just suck on your candy and be quiet. Cool stuff. I'll take the show from here.
Oh, shut up. You're doing nothing. So you and I had this discussion... It's been a few weeks, maybe a couple weeks now. I don't even know time anymore.
It doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't. But I just don't want you to go, it's been months. And I'm like, no, I don't think it's been months.
There's that producer Deb retarded voice that I love.
I did not make you sound retarded that time. Oh, I can do that if you'd like. I've got it perfected.
I'm sure you do. I know. I've heard it.
So just like many, I am obsessed with TikTok. Apparently, I'm too old to be on TikTok. I give zero fucks. But I was on TikTok and I was scrolling around and I came upon this TikTok of a dude saying that men will admit it and they all do it. Mm. And I'm like, what? What do they do? because I think I know everything there is to know about men. I mean, I've been around forever. I've got to know everything at this point. And he's like, all men fluff before they let anyone see them naked. Women or their partner. I mean, maybe other men.
Sure.
Who knows? But in general, if sex is on the table.
I don't think fluffing when you're going into the locker room shower or whatever is a great idea.
No, I would think not, unless you're trying to show off. But when maybe some men do. I don't know. But generally speaking, when sex is on the table, men will fluff before they present to their lover. And I'm like, first of all, if you don't know what fluffing is, it just means you're doing something to get at least a little erect so you don't look like a frightened turtle.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I asked you, because they're like, ask your man.
Actually, I want to say it's a porn term.
It is a porn term, but it's the easiest way just to say.
Yeah. Somebody get him ready. or get yourself ready.
Get semi-erect, please, for the pleasure of the sight of it. Anyway.
And you asked me.
So I said, is this true? And you're all, 100%. I'm like, excuse me?
It's 100% true.
So apparently, all men prepare their penis.
I've never had the discussion. But when you told me that this guy said, like, I've never discussed this with other guys, so I don't know.
First of all, why would you?
Why would you? But
it's an understanding.
Maybe.
Apparently.
Yeah, the fact that he said it, as soon as you said it to me, I was like, oh, that's absolutely true.
What's weird, though, is who told you that you had to do this? It's natural, right? It's like this natural desire to look.
Yeah, I mean,
look good.
Who told you that you had to get dressed up to or make yourself pretty before you want to have sex? Like it's not that different.
I think it's just a primal instinct to want to be as sexually appetizing as possible.
Yeah,
I just didn't even think that men would even think about it because I never pay any mind. But
Wait. You never pay any mind.
Like if you came out erect or not, it wouldn't change anything.
You're lying.
That's not true.
You're lying. Well, you're kidding yourself. How about that? You're kidding yourself.
You honestly think that you being semi-erect does anything for me?
Yes.
Why is that?
What do you mean, why is it?
Why do you think that is?
Well, if it was super small and tiny and shrunken, it's not going to do any good.
No, what I'm saying is that...
I think biologically...
You think that my brain is going, oh, look, he's halfway there?
You've mentioned it.
I have?
Yes.
Oh. Maybe I've blocked it out.
Well, I'm just saying.
When did I mention it? I don't remember.
Actually, it wasn't that long ago.
I'm asking.
Yeah, I walked by you I want to say it was in the morning.
Oh, well, I mean.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You were like, oh.
Okay.
You mentioned it. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and maybe it's more for us. As a guy, like, I don't know, getting ready, just like it might be for you, getting pretty or whatever.
All right. So everyone
or wearing
listening,
something sexy or
everyone listening, please ask your partner. If you have a male in your sex life, please ask if they fluff prior to wanting to interact with you sexually. I'm just so curious. If I believe firmly that if you admit it, then all men probably do it.
Yeah, and it's because, not like every time or anything like that.
You're literally the most secure person sexually. So I'm like, and if you do it, that means everyone probably does it. I'm so curious. Yeah, I'm so curious by this because I'm like, I just didn't even think that it was like a thing. And when he goes, all men do it. I'm like, nah. No, they do. Surprised.
Yeah, I mean.
Interesting. Anyway.
Fluffing.
Well, that's what we're calling it. I don't know I don't think there's another term.
No, I think that's right.
We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. I think that's why I enjoy TikTok is that I'm actually learning things that I truly did not.
Yeah.
Because you're exposed to so many different people and brains and their mentality. And if you can get on the right algorithm, it's really interesting.
I think, in fact, I would say the majority of the time I probably do it, I know we're going to.
Are we talking about your penis still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I was just thinking about it out loud. Not mine, just in general. Like I'm trying to think like how, like why do I do it? Like do I consciously do it? Well, there's three things. So sorry.
All right.
One, I definitely do it and consciously when I know we're going to have sex. Okay. Two, and this may be part of it. Our mirror is thigh high.
Oh, so you don't like.
So when I get out of the shower,
you're like,
I'm like,
oh my God,
what's happening here? Right?
Yeah.
So
it's
that could be
just normal body.
No, I know. I know.
I wish my tits shrank when I got out of the shower. They do not.
I don't.
Jesus Christ.
Also, I would be lying if I didn't say I probably did it to see if you were interested, even if I didn't know we were going to have sex.
This is just so animalistic.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know why. Like, I think it's just...
It's so animalistic.
Hey, if I'm semi and I walk by her from the bathroom, is she going to, like, say, hey? But maybe you don't. Maybe that's not a turn on. I don't know.
Men are far more visual, I think, than women. I've definitely know this, that if I am feeling insecure about myself in any way whatsoever, I will do or wear something to see if you will notice. And I'm not doing it subconsciously. I am fully aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
I will do it to make sure that you still go, hey, you're still cute. Hi, what's up? Because if I'm feeling particularly gross, I'll be like, well, let's see if I can slap this pig together and throw some makeup on and get a coat of paint on there and see if he'll go, nice ride. You never know. Maybe one day he'll be like, what do you want?
And do you think that's something a lot of women do? Or
I don't know. I mean, I don't. The thing is, I've come to learn I do not speak for all women because we're all so literally all so different and unique in our brains and the trauma and all the things that we've experienced. Everybody has a different coping mechanism. Yeah. But generally speaking, I do it. It's just my own emotionally cutting way of doing things. Right. Just to make sure I'm like, am I still, human?
Human?
Am I still able to, elicit another human being's eyes, I guess.
You're a head turner.
No, well, as long as you are thinking that's all that matters. Yeah. But anyway, that's a little too deep into my psyche. I rarely need to do it, but I do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So moving on, we have a few things that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So
did you have that one on the outline and just didn't tell me?
What's
did you just come up with that one?
The penis thing?
Yeah.
It was a last minute addition.
Oh, okay.
Because I just wanted, basically, cool. I'm asking other listeners to let me know to ask and then reach out to me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of Facebook, okay.
There's even a contact us on uglytruth.com.
You can just do it there, but if you're more social media minded, just find us and it's all Ugly Truth. It's the same. I have been punished several times on Facebook.
Oh.
And I am over it.
Like officially.
I am fucking over it. I'm so irritated. This all began in like June or July of this year.
Well, you're on the radar now. That's the problem.
It's so frustrating to me. So I have discussed many times on the show how much I hate goat cheese. It's a thing.
Yeah.
I should make a shirt.
Yeah.
I hate it. Yeah. Goat cheese sucks. And so anyway, and no one understands it in my life. No one gets it. It's so delicious. I'm like, it isn't delicious. It's disgusting, but okay. I'm sure it's equally as disgusting to people who hate cilantro.
Sure.
Same. Anyway, so somebody had said something and I said,
on social media,
on Facebook, specifically on a comment, I said that I would rather slit my throat than eat goat cheese. Now, it was obviously not real. Yeah. Obviously, it's a sarcasm. I would never slit my throat. I would eat goat cheese before I would do that. Yep. So, I mean, I don't want to, but I would. Well, I don't know how it works, but either someone reported it or Facebook flagged it.
Either can happen, but guaranteed slit my throat is in their list of phrases to block.
So
even if no human actually saw it.
So I got a warning.
Yeah.
And it said your account is basically you've got one strike. Mm-hmm. So because I'm a total rebel, I screenshotted that.
Yep.
And I said, because someone said, oh, I got warning or whatever. And I said, oh, yeah, so did I. And I posted the screenshot of me being warned about the goat cheese thing. And I got 2 strikes. And then they said, you know what? Never mind. You're suspended.
Yeah.
And they suspended me for 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days. I got in trouble. I was so like, what the fuck, man? So then I'm like,
did you contest it or did you, because it was
contest it
like right out of the gate?
Immediately.
You're like, okay.
I said, you guys, and one of the options is, oh, well, you just didn't understand what I was trying to say. You took it out of context. Mm-hmm. So I said, yeah, you took it out of context. And I think why they said, nah, fuck you. You're still suspended.
Because I
screenshotted it and posted it out of or whatever, out of ridiculous, because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine reached out and she goes, they hid your comment on my post.
Oh,
Facebook
they
literally
it.
flagged the comment and hid it. And I was like, motherfuckers. And I'm like, are these bots or is this a human being out to ruin my day?
Well, I think the bot catches you and then they have a team after that.
So I know they have people as well as bots, but I would imagine that most of it is electronic. Like
it all starts automated. Because otherwise they can never catch stuff quick enough. So
right. And so I'm like, shouldn't you be stopping child pornography? Like, why are you harassing me? Yeah. I'm not doing any, this is so ridiculous. So I'm like,
but you're on the naughty list.
It's so ridiculous. And so now if you're not into social media and all of the business aspects of social media, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, specifically Meta, is trying to compete with TikTok. They're using Reels. They're trying to get Reels as the equivalent to TikTok.
Well, they're trying to add features that compete with.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't work. No one wants to deal with it. Full stop. I hate Facebook. I hate it more than anything, but I keep it because we get a lot of engagement on our Ugly Truth page. people see it. And so it's one of those things where you really need to have it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of TikTok stories and I share them on Instagram primarily, but lately I've been sharing them to auto feed onto our Facebook stories. And they're just TikToks and they're funny. There's nothing violent. There's nothing sexually overt. It's very mild compared to my brain. I have the shit that I send you, I would be blown off of Facebook for the rest of my life.
Right.
Like I sent you one today. You're going to love it. It's so great. Anyway, it's so inappropriate.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right. So it was one of this old cat. They fucking suspended my account.
When you shared
something. They said this is inappropriate. I'm like, showing an old cat is inappropriate? And there was the music wasn't inappropriate. There was nothing. It was literally just having the benefits of having a senior cat in your home. It was really normal, benign shit. I just thought it was a really funny thing. And they suspended my account and they said, you're on probation. Again.
Yeah.
They're like, you are limited. You can't post in any groups. You can't like anything. And I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? And I said, it has to be because they don't want TikTok on their site. They don't want TikTok on Facebook. That has to be what it is.
Nah, I can't. I mean,
everybody does it.
If that was true, it would be happening all the time because everybody all over the world shares TikToks on their Facebook.
Now, if I had my druthers, I would reach out because I tried to fight it.
Yep.
And it wouldn't even let me. Like it wasn't giving me the option. Yeah. It just said, you can give us your opinion, but we don't give a crap. You're still in trouble.
Because you're a repeat offender.
For like 28 days. And I'm like, and my account, my main account.
Are you in jail right now?
No, I'm not in jail, but they're like, all of your posts are going to be low priority. No one's going to see anything. And I'm like, why?
Does that include the page or just so it includes Ugly Truth?
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Who did I piss off? Now, my first brain goes to the list of people in my life who hate me, who are doing it. And so I'm immediately going, I'm going to find out who did this. And I am going to no longer be passive. I'm coming after you.
Yeah.
If you are fucking around with me in my life.
Yeah.
Like you're done. You're done.
Well, like they're semi low key stalking you. And then anytime you mess up or do something that could be that way, do you think they're turning you in?
I think they're just flagging whatever they feel like. I don't know, but that's the thing is I don't know. But I will tell you this, if I find out, and there are ways, I will find out.
Maybe it's Trip. Maybe Trip wants company in Facebook jail. He's there all the time.
Dude,
he's got his own wing.
We're cellmates. I'm in the Trip Affleck prison system now.
Yeah.
I'm in the pipeline.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's okay, fine by me.
Yeah.
But I will find out. There's always a price to pay when you do this. Yeah. And I heard something the other day and it rang so true to me. Your biggest fan is the person who hates you the most because they are obsessed with you. And I'm like, this is so satisfying to know that I live rent free
in your head,
in people's brains. And I am living my best life. And if the worst thing you can do is fucking flag a cat video,
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you.
Right.
I feel sorry for you. Period. Anyway.
It wasn't me, by the way.
Why would it? I mean, no. You're not petty.
I'm not.
I am. I am petty. When I feel like it.
Sure.
Not always. But anyway. All right. So we went to Arizona. We did it and we foolishly drove.
We did.
Because, well, there was a couple of reasons why we did it. Mostly because, you know, when someone's having a baby, there is no schedule. You kind of just have to hope and pray that your plans to visit align with when the baby decides to come into the world.
Sure.
And of course, your daughter, the baby, little boy, decided, no, I'm not coming on my due date. I'm coming 2 weeks early.
I'm ready.
And he was ready to go. So he came out. Everyone's
He
healthy.
didn't seem very early to me.
He was not.
I think they had the day wrong more than he was early.
He was on time.
He was
no doubt.
ready.
He was over 8 pounds.
Yeah,
he was ready. And your daughter is tiny.
Good
so
to go.
yeah, definitely. Which he was like, yo, I'm done.
He's so cute.
Which was great, you know, because now our scheduled visit was going to be an actual visit instead of going to a hospital, which was wonderful.
And that was the way we kind of planned it, obviously, because we were going to go on these days no matter what, because we knew that was the absolute latest the baby would be born because it was a scheduled, you know, thing. So,
and it was great because we got way more time,
of course,
than we would have. And so I was so glad.
because by the time we got there, she had already been home for a week. The baby had already been home for a week or so.
And, you know, I forget when you were in your 20s how quickly you bounce back. Like, she's like, I hate being at home. I needed to get out of the house. I know.
She's like going to the zoo and
I'm
went.
Like, Jesus
I was like,
Christ. I go,
damn,
girl,
girl.
You had a cesarean. And she's like practically sprinting around the world. Anyway, which I'm so glad. Yeah. You know, when you bounce back so quickly.
Well,
but she was also,
the baby's really good.
Let's be honest. She was an athlete her whole life. Right. So this is not, her body's like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. So that's really nice for her. I'm happy for her, and she looks great. And the baby is perfection.
He's amazing.
Her other child, the other baby, is also fabulous, and he's got the most amazing personality, and he's just in love with you. He absolutely loves you. So that's nice for you.
He's awesome. They're both awesome.
They are. So happy for her.
Yeah, me too. And the road trip was. It was just the way we needed to do it instead of flying down because Kenzie was going to go with us.
Not only that, but I mean, let's not lie. Airline tickets are ridiculous.
Well, especially you know what? From California, Phoenix and Vegas flights are stupid. Like you can go
They're so
farther
crazy.
out, other places, random places.
You're like, oh, it's only cost us $700
for way less. Way less. And
it's
then
going to be $2,000
and then minimum.
Yeah,
minimum.
It was crazy.
So anyway.
So those are all the good parts.
Yes. 10 and a half hour minimum.
It was like an 11-hour drive to get there. Yeah. And luckily it was uneventful.
Yeah.
We did pass by one car fire in the desert because we had to drive through the desert, literally
the Palm Desert. Yeah.
And, you know, to me, whenever we drive through the desert, the true desert, I go, man, can you imagine when there were no roads and you were just like a nomad and you just had like a horse or something and you're trying to cross this? The amount of people that must have perished. It is so hot. Yeah. It's so hot.
And for us, it's like a straight shot. You're basically driving to LA and turning left.
It was just
right if you're coming back.
And there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean.
Nothing out there. And it's beautiful, but there ain't nothing.
Actually, the California part, the middle is not, but
it's just hot.
Once you go past LA and start toward Phoenix,
Palm Springs is very
really
pretty,
nice,
and the Joshua Tree area is just unbelievably beautiful. It's indescribably beautiful. So we get there, we check in, and we immediately get hit with a quick monsoon.
Yep.
And we had that for 2 nights in a row. I think we had a little rain.
Quite the light show.
Beautiful lightning. Yeah. I loved it. It looked like Stranger Things. I thought it was really cool.
The upside down.
So the bad of this trip had nothing to do with family. It had everything to do with everything else, though. Yeah. First of all, it's hot as fuck there.
Hot as fuck.
And I know that it's Arizona, and I was prepared for the heat. We've been there before. Yeah. You know, this is not our first visit. We've been there a couple of other times, and it is warm. But it's the desert. You expect it to be hot. Yep. But the monsoon weather has made it very humid.
We had not been there at that time of year before.
There's no relief. There's no relief. When you when you leave,
oh, it's 99, feels like 1,000.
When you leave, you're like, I don't think I can breathe. It's like so hot in here. I feel like I'm in a dryer.
Oh man, it was terrible.
And so getting, And even your daughter even said, she's like, oh yeah, no one leaves the house. Like no one, she goes, there's swim teams here, but we've never seen them compete. We've never seen any swimming. We don't know when their season is because it's just too hot to be out. And I said, you are correct. There was not a lot of traffic. There was at nighttime. It was like, and I told you when we walked in, I go, well, I guess we're going to live like vampires because with the sun sets and everybody's out.
Yep.
The amount of traffic at sunset was insane. I'm like, why? It's like 9 o'clock at night. Where are all these cars?
Well, I remember when we left, we were like, oh my God, it's going to be hotter in Sacramento than it is where we're going in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And we're like, cool. And then we get there and it's like, it doesn't feel that.
No,
like,
it's definitely
because of the season. 99 there felt a hell of a lot hotter than 99 does here.
Yes. Yeah, so the hotel was huge because we stayed at a residence inn where you can stay for like a week or two, like if you're transitioning into the state or whatever. So we got what was called the quote unquote penthouse suite thing.
It was bigger than Kenzie's apartment.
It was. And so we're like, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
So we all, we settled in. The refrigerator's leaking inside. There's a puddle in the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. The dishwasher does not work, and it completely gassed us out because it smelled like sulfur. Yeah, it was horrible.
It was in bad shape.
I even brought spray, like my perfume spray that I spray on our sheets.
I saw you do it,
and it didn't help at all. It was awful. And then
what else? There was something else. Oh, and the TVs.
None of the TVs were working, and we're like, "Why is this happening?" So we finally relented and said, "I guess we're gonna have to call."
Yeah.
I, of course, knowing I know what I look like, and I said, "I don't want to be in here. I want another room. I hate it here." Our shower was a
ADA.
I think it used to be an ADA. It isn't anymore.
Yeah, because there was no bar, right?
No, there was nothing to indicate that a person who had any kind of disability could utilize that place without dying.
Right.
It was awfully dangerous. So it was converted. So it was like a locker room shower.
It was.
They just put up this shower curtain that covered only half of the shower.
Yeah, it didn't go all the way across.
And I was like, okay. And there was no like shelving to put anything. There was nothing there was no hooks to hang anything.
Actually, the funniest thing that started all of this was when we pulled up, we realized it was the same hotel we stayed at last time because we didn't know.
Because we had blocked it out.
We had blocked it out of our minds.
I'm sitting there. I went to bed so angry because I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah. Like, this is insane. I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. I already hate it. I already hate it. And so you, being the person you are up in the middle of the night sending a message to the 24-hour service going, we got to get in. We can't be here. This is awful. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We'll have someone come in immediately in the morning, la, la, la. So you go, why am I accepting this? Yeah. It's not like we came here for free. We did pay to be here.
It was pricey too because it was such a big room.
What are we doing?
For a residence inn, it was pricey.
So I went to bed enraged. Yeah. And then I woke up in the morning and I felt a little bit better about it because I'm like, you know what?
From a space standpoint, it worked out.
The space was great.
Yeah.
So visit was great. Arizona, people who live there, I know you're probably perfectly lovely, but I've been to Arizona. I have stayed there many times in my life. Yeah. I've been to all the big cities. I've been to Mesa, Gilbert, Scottsdale,
Phoenix,
Goodyear, Phoenix, many times.
Yeah. I
hate it. I hate it there.
Yeah. It's not a place I would live.
Scottsdale is like their Beverly Hills or whatever. I
think so, yeah.
Horrible. I'm sure there's a couple of great restaurants and bars there. I know that, money is there. And I know golfing is a big thing there.
Yeah, I get all of
Scottsdale
for sure.
No interest in going back.
No.
None.
No,
I don't care about the one good restaurant that Scott Conan owns there. I don't care.
Visit the fam, call it a day.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Minus the family aspect. I'm talking just solely the state.
Yep.
I know so many people who moved there, and I'm like, why did you do this?
Yeah.
Outside of taxes, why would you come here? It's hot. It's landlocked. And people are so fucking grumpy. Like, we encountered so many grumpy assholes because they're hot.
They're hot.
And the food is bad. We ordered a pizza. It was the worst pizza of my life. I'm like, you can't even get
terrible.
pizza right?
And it was like not a Pizza Hut either. It was like old Chicago something.
Like, and your daughter's just like, oh yeah, I've heard great things about it. No one said a word. we just found a way to eat it. And we're like, well, let's just put it this way. I'm like, oh, this piece looks great. It's got cheese. I ordered the quote unquote ale crust. So it'd have like a beer yeasty crust crust taste. It was supposed to have green olives and basil and all this stuff. Literally pizza. It was so thin. It kept falling off. And it was like
crust is an overstatement.
The green olives were whole.
Like whole green olives. I thought they were pimento olives at first.
Rolling off. Like, what is this?
And it was a large pizza and there's like 5 olives.
It was, I mean, it was so bad. Yeah. I said, okay, this is.
I think they went over to the bar and grabbed some pimento olives and just threw them on there.
And you're like, and you even said, you're like, why did you get pimento olives? I'm like, I didn't. I don't know what this is. I don't know. This is their quote unquote specialty.
Anyway, yeah.
And thank God, you know what? And I've already blocked out. I don't know the name.
Yeah.
I don't even care. So, every day it was a grind every day that we were there to go, what are we going to eat today?
I'm sure every place has its, but it just seems to be a recurring thing with a lot of people that you run into there. Like I've obviously been to Phoenix for work a lot and the people that work are great, but like,
yeah, but they're in air conditioning and they have to be nice to you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but
they have to be professional.
I don't know, but in these suburban trips that we've done.
Listen, when you and I went to Scottsdale for spring training a few years ago, like 5 years, however long a year ago, I hated it. It was terrible. It was hot as fuck.
It was 100 gajillion degrees.
The hotel was shit.
Yeah, terrible.
The food was garbage. The people were assholes. I mean, like, this is not a new thing. And I go in, every time I go, I'm like, I'm here to see the family. We're going to have a wonderful time. And that part is always great. Always. The airport is horrible. Everything. All of it. And I have nothing nice to say, literally nothing nice to say about the parts that I have experienced in the last couple of years. Horrible.
I haven't been to a bajillion airports, but I would say that now that you say that, Phoenix is in my top 3 of terrible.
It's terrible. Because Texas is only the worst. Dallas is the worst airport on the planet.
I haven't connected too many times, but when I have...
Yes.
It's never in the same terminal.
Dude, I told you the story.
Yeah, you sprinted, right?
Okay, so I was I had a business meeting in San Antonio, and I obviously went from San Antonio to Dallas. I had to fly to Dallas to get the connection for some reason. I don't even know why, but somehow
Dallas or Phoenix?
No. So somehow I ended up in the Dallas Love Airport. I don't know if I flew from San Antonio or not.
Southwest Airport, yep.
I think I went to Dallas and it was a drive, but I do remember going there. Right. So I check in, get in Dallas. There is some kind of goddamn monsoon.
Oh, right.
And so I'm stuck.
Typical.
And we're, 2 hours finally. And I walked up and I said, is there any way I can upgrade my seat? Because I was in the middle seat. And I said, is there any way I can upgrade to first class? And they're like, you don't want to do that. It's literally a short flight. Yeah. Just don't waste your money. I'm like, okay. So the short flight for a flight attendant is less than 5 hours. Well, the flight from Dallas to Arizona is almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I was in the middle seat between a fat fuck and a drunk guy who used me as a pillow. Oh. And I had to pee so bad. Because I kept going, I thought she said this was a short flight. A short flight in California is LA, which is like 70 minutes.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't know 3 hours was a short flight to her. Yeah. And now I'm really pissed that I didn't upgrade to first class. Sure. So I'm sitting there finally. They're like, okay, we're getting a late start. If you have a connecting flight, please let them off first so they can make their flight. Well, that was me. So I got up and I got out and I had to urinate so badly. They're like, they're literally holding the plane for you. And I said, okay, well, I'm in Terminal 1 and I have to get to Terminal 3 or C or whichever it's called. And they're like, you're going to have to run. And I said, all right. So I start running because it is far.
Yeah.
It is far. Luckily,
it is.
Luckily, I didn't have to take like a tram or anything like in Denver.
That's actually, in some cases, that's worse.
Yeah.
That's worse.
I had to run. And it was like 9 o'clock at night because of the delay. So there's nobody in the airport. So I'm able to make it. I'm halfway there and I am truly pissing my pants.
Jesus.
But I couldn't stop running.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm peeing my pants. Awesome. This has been wonderful. And I got sick, by the way. On top of it, I got sick. But they waited for me, thank God. And there was like 2 people on the plane. And they were literally coming back to Sacramento to just refuel. And I was the last flight of the night. So it was like...
Which means you would have been stuck there.
It was pilots and flight attendants, which is why they waited. Because they're like, what do we care?
Yeah.
And I promptly got up. And I got a whole row to myself. And they're like, do you want anything? I said, nope, I'm fine. I just need to pee. So I went into the bathroom and threw away my underwear. And came home. And I was like, Phoenix sucks.
That's terrible.
I hate it. It's not, that wasn't necessarily
Dallas
their
is
fault.
my number one terrible, but Phoenix is up there.
Right. So with all of that being said, I hate Arizona.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just don't like it. It's just not for me.
No.
I don't think I'm a desert person. I'm not into being in a blow dryer 24 hours a day. There was no relief.
None.
No relief. And then, so we leave, it's time to go. We leave it because I'm like
ready to go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So I packed the night before and I'm like up at the crack of dawn, 6:15. I'm like, you ready to go? And it was like, yep, let's go. I felt like you were moving a bit too slow for my opinion, but it was fine.
I waited for both of you.
I know. But then
So
we get
there's no I move slow.
So you're like, well, I got to get gas. And you're like, do. And I'm just like, shh. So we finally get on the road and it was like 6:45.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine. Everything was fine. Drove. Nobody wanted to stop. We're like, let's just get gas and keep going.
Basically only stop for gas. So.
And then now when someone tells you this is the armpit of California, what do you think of?
Of California?
Uh-huh. When someone says, oh, it's the armpit of California, what do you think?
Probably central Bakersfield-ish.
When anyone says, oh, that's the armpit of California, I think Fresno.
Yeah, that's
a lot of
same,
people do.
Same.
Now, we know people from Fresno, and that's probably not true. But for most people, it's just a no man's land.
That whole Bakersfield, Fresno, central.
Well, Bakersfield's a little more south, but yeah. It's just not great.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to change my mind. I would like to change my vote.
Do you even remember the name of that town?
Kettletown?
Kettleman City.
Kettleman City. Google it.
It's on 5.
If someone lives there, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Kettleman City is truly the armpit of California. I've never experienced a more miserable place in my life.
It's basically just there for a freeway stop. I mean, because there's not anything before it. There's not anything after it.
We pull in. We're like, well, we're going to top off. We're going to get gas, and then we're just going to power through and head home.
Yep. Just go to the bathroom really quick.
Legitimately have no idea where it is. Yeah. But we're like, okay, Kettleman City. So we pull in. I have to pee super bad because I've been holding it for like 6 hours. So we get in, there's a McDonald's and a gas station combo, and they're all comboed with a gas station or some kind of store because, it
should have been our first
freeway
clue.
stop. And I'm like, well, I have no interest in food. I just want to pee. And so we walk in and there's 2 bathrooms. There's a male and a men's and a women's. I open the women's. And you open the door, and then there's like 2 or 3 stalls. There's like a little lobby and then stalls in the back. I open it, and there's a girl in there, and she goes, bathroom is closed. So I shut it thinking, well, she'll be out in a minute. And Kenzie goes, well, I'm not waiting. So she goes to the men's bathroom. And I said, Kenzie, there might be someone in there because it's not just one bathroom. It's like multiple. Yeah. And she goes, I don't know. So she opens it. Her face drops and she touched it. I said, why did you do that? She's like, I don't know. And she turned around and some old man comes waddling out. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, well, now you know your future. So, and then some other guy went in and I said, okay, no, you're not using that bathroom.
Yeah.
No. And so we're waiting. And so I open it again because now there's another woman going, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. So I open it and she goes, bathroom is closed.
Does she work there or something?
Yes. And I go, for how long? How long?
Yeah.
And she goes, 15 minutes. I'm like, fuck this shit. I shut it and I walk out and because I'm already annoyed. So we go across to this other place that has a store and all that. And I go, okay, they for sure have a bathroom. So we go and it was really big. So I'm like, oh, okay. We walk in. Well, if the smell didn't knock you on your ass.
I mean, the minute you walk in the store, not even the bathroom.
No,
I
know. Yeah. I walk in, I go, holy shit, it smells like sewage, poo, whatever. How are people buying food in here? Like people were like in line with food. And I'm like, I would never buy anything in this store.
No.
And there's a big sign that says bathroom for customers only. And I'm like, okay.
I just wandered around like I was shopping while
so
you guys.
I came out and I'm like, give me money. And you're like, what? I'm like, well, you have to buy something to use the bathroom in here. And you're like, okay. So you're like, well, I'll handle it. I'm like, all right. And there was a line.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all these people are purposefully sitting in this smell to do whatever they're doing. So Kenzie and I go in. The women's bathroom is wide open. The door is propped open. and you can't shut it.
Oh.
And so I'm like, you know what? Enjoy the show, boys. I don't give a shit. So I go in, I pee, I come out, and I wash my hands vigorously because I don't know what is going on in this bathroom.
COVID washed your hands.
Kenzie turns to me, our daughter, and she goes, "This place is fucking disgusting." I go, "You think?" And I said, and
we couldn't get out fast.
What was funny is a woman came in with us, and she goes, "Do you think there's a bathroom in here?" I'm like, "I hope so," because multiple people were driving around.
Yeah, looking for. Well, because there's nothing before and nothing after. It's and
there must have been other people that had closed bathrooms because people were literally driving around in circles looking for a free toilet. And I can only assume that this must be some kind of sewage. It's like what's the thing? Sewer, not public sewage facility, like the
like a
what are those things called?
Tank.
Septic tanks. It was definitely a septic tank situation.
Yeah,
and I think they were filling up. Who knows? And so I'm like, well. Done and done. We walk out, and you're like, "Do you want these M&Ms?" I'm like, "Fuck those M&Ms. Let's get out of here. Fuck these people. Let's go."
I've peed. Now I don't have to buy anything.
I'm not. What are you gonna do? Stop me?
Yeah, right.
Here, I'll throw $1 your way. Fix your septic system. I hate it.
Yeah.
So we walked out, and I said, I've never wanted to leave a place in my life. And all I could think of was, I feel so sorry for people who live here. This is awful.
I bet it's not a lot. It's just, there's nothing there but gas stations and fast food restaurants. I didn't see any housing developments.
No, noted. I was already hostile. I wanted to leave.
I know.
I wanted relief. It was hot as fuck there as well. It was like 104.
The whole time.
And I said, this is a nightmare. And I will not survive the apocalypse. There is no way. I will. Discomfort? No. The elements? Yeah. They'll throw me to the wolves immediately. They'll be like, get rid of her. Jesus Christ, the complaining on this one. I know it. And that's the thing is I know myself. I know. But you know what? I'd hold it in. Unfortunately, my face would show everything. They're like, is there a problem? Like, nope, I'm fine. I'll just chew on this stick for a little longer. Hated it. But you know what? I mean, Stephanie did warn me. She's like, why are you driving? I'm like, because it's so expensive to fly. It just is. It's just so expensive. And so it's doable. You know, it's doable until you're in the throes of it. And you're like, why did we do this? But anyway, made it home. I, for some reason, can't get rid of you. Like you are like, what are you doing? Where are you? What's going on? I'm like, leave me alone. I need to decompress.
It's been a week. Get over it.
I just want to read my book. How about you? Did you enjoy the trip? Did you like driving?
No, it was terrible. Well, I guess the drive there wasn't too bad.
Hey, I wasn't too bad of a backseat driver this time, was I?
Not on the way there, no.
You
mean the act of backseat driving? No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like criticizing my driving? That didn't happen.
That was much.
Fine. No, I don't remember any of that.
And I offered to drive many times. I want it noted in the annals of this relationship that I did offer to drive.
Yeah.
And you said no.
It just wasn't necessary.
You didn't want me to do it.
It just wasn't necessary.
What does that mean?
I didn't at any point feel too tired. I didn't.
Yeah, but you were complaining about your back a lot. So I don't think
I did any complaining. I think you saw me repositioning or doing things
and going,
me complaining.
My back.
Oh, stop. That never happened. Lie.
You asked me to put a back thing on your back. You're like, when we stop, can you put one of these back things on my back? Because it's hurting.
Yeah.
And I said, why don't we do your seat warmers in the meantime?
That was a good idea. That actually was a good idea.
And you're like, yeah. So that's when I started saying, yo, I'm happy to drive.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, you could have laid back and you could have repositioned yourself in other ways. Fine, you martyr. Fine.
I didn't mind. You, okay, don't martyr. Okay. Have you ever driven my truck? No. So why am I going to let you on a freeway where everybody's going 90 plus be the first time that you drive?
Those are my people. I know how to handle them.
Pass.
Whatever.
Had I gotten tired and stuff, I definitely would have.
You would have been like, well,
but we kept stopping, so it was easy.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying that
Road trip.
Did volunteer.
Yes, you did. You did.
So
volunteer.
I want it noted that
and
I
then
wasn't
Kenzie
like,
volunteered. I was like, nah. I've seen all the vehicles we've had to buy for you. Pass.
All right. Well, I have an ugly and awkward moment of the week.
Cool.
This episode. That one.
That one.
That's the button.
But the button, the green one.
Yeah. So anyway, so we were leaving. We were leaving Arizona, and we were leaving the hotel, and it was quite early. And when you look at the weather, it goes, it's 83 outside. I'm like, oh man, 83 is doable. Like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Maybe a nice, cool little start to the morning. Sun just came up. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So we're walking out, open up the doors to get out of the hotel, and it's like a wall of heat hit me. And I involuntarily, it literally was involuntary. I come out and I'm like, I hate it here. And I turn.
I think you used the F word.
I said, I fucking hate it.
I think so.
Probably.
I think so.
I said, I fucking hate it here. And I turn and I have an audience
of residents.
3 or 4 people who clearly live here,
Yeah.
not at the hotel, but they're working, and they all stop and stare at me. And I'm like, all right. Well, luckily I'm not staying. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could have taken it as you were talking about the hotel or Arizona,
I think
but I'm
they
pretty
knew it was
sure
pretty
they knew
clear
it was
what I
because
meant.
you were walking outside.
Not to mention we had our bags with us,
Right.
and then when you were kind of trying to finagle the bags, they offered to assist to get us out of here. They're like, would you like us to help you? And you're like, nah, I got it. And there I am sitting in the truck with my arms crossed and my big sunglasses on, just going, what is taking so long? I'm like, what is it? And I fantasize about Learjets and helicopters just getting me out of here and taking me home in record time.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Wishing I was a genie and I could just blink myself
Same.
to my room, you know.
Same.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. I was just over it. I was over it.
You couldn't be a genie.
No. I want a genie.
Yeah, you couldn't be one, though.
I just want one.
Because of the itty-bitty living space.
If I only had 3 wishes, though, that's the thing is, you know, I've thought this a million times. If I only had 3 wishes, what would I wish for?
Yeah.
You
What would you wish for?
Super technical.
Have you thought of it? Like, do you have them like off the top of your head, or is that like?
Of course. I
Yeah.
mean, I do, but some of them involve revenge, unfortunately, because I really want to hurt people
That's too bad.
sometimes. But
That's a waste of a wish for
it's
me.
not. It's not, Lois. It's not. But obviously,
All 3 wishes will be revenge.
something. It has to include monetary security. Like
Sure.
somehow but it's got to be. You've got to. You know, genies are tricky.
Are they now?
Yes, and so you have to be very specific about your wish.
Yeah.
You can't,
No, for sure.
You can't just say I want all the money in the world because
Yeah.
suddenly you're dying because you're covered in money. You know, you've got to be very specific about your needs when you say money, and so you'd have to do that, and then the other ones would, you know, I don't know, but that one specifically is the one, you know.
Yeah.
I would not. I don't know if I'd wish for world peace or not, but I'd
Yeah.
figure something out, something global for sure.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's fair. I was laughing at the
And then anyone I really, really hate. Oh yes.
as one wish. Everybody
wish.
I hate.
I mean, I'm not into suffering,
Yeah.
but I am into revenge of some kind.
I think that
I don't know what it would be.
one of the more interesting genie things I've seen is in the more recent episodes of What We Do in the Shadows. That genie,
brilliant.
where he just clicks his pen and that's how you
He
grant
had like
the wish.
100 wishes too.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was-
so
but he didn't know how
jealous.
many. He didn't know how many.
Yeah,
he
they
had.
don't tell. They don't tell you how many.
You get wishes; they're not unlimited,
And then
but
they run
you don't-
out.
Right.
And he felt so bad for him that he actually gave him a baby genie lamp so he could have 3 more at the end of the day.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's so great. That's a great
I
show.
love that show. But anyway,
Yeah. So what about you?
it's same kind of thing.
Well,
There'd be something.
yeah.
There'd be something monetary. There'd be something global, and then I think the third thing would just be more family oriented, which sounds weird, just like
Well,
health and that kind of
sure.
stuff. But phenomenal
fair.
cosmic powers
Of course.
would be great.
Yeah.
I want to be Sultan. That's what I want.
No. But yeah,
I'd like to erase a few years
that was my
from my past.
yeah, that was my thing. All right. Are you all entertained? Have you been entertained?
Have you not been entertained?
Have you enjoyed this long slog of a
Oh, stop it. God.
what?
Don't what me, woman.
You're going to delete it now. I know you are.
No.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
We love y'all.
No. I adore my fans.
Your fans. Hit the fucking stop button right now.
I
Stop
love our
recording.
listeners.
Stop it. Hit stop.
No. Anyway, thank you for listening. We will be back next week with a new episode. Bye.
Bye.